Hi, I'm Ben Danner with Signal Edge Solutions, and I'm going to show you a couple cool demos that we have here at our booth at IEEE EMC SI 2025. Here I'm showing you PulseLoad Pro. PulseLoad Pro is a test automation software that we wrote to test automate your validation testing on your bench for a power supply or a VRM. In this case, we're showing a VRM from ADI. It's a micro module, and ADI LTM 4637. To do our test today, our automation, our demo, we're going to be using an MX05 from Rohde & Schwarz and an NGL202 also from Rohde & Schwarz. And those are interfaced to some PicoTest products, specifically an S10, which is a step load probe from PicoTest, a P2105, a browser high bandwidth probe from PicoTest, and a J2115 from PicoTest. The MX05 is going to drive our S10 probe and automate the sweep of the period across a bandwidth of frequencies. In this case, our demo is going to be from 5 kilohertz to 1 megahertz, and we're going to look at that large signal response and determine the worst case, all using our test automation software, and post-process it in just a simple click of a button. So when I hit this button here, I hit the run button, you can see it's going to set our output voltage at 12 volts, which is our input voltage into our VRM. Our VRM is regulating out to 1 volt, and we're going to quickly automate and auto scale our initial sweep, and then from there the scope is going to measure everything after it's set the input and termination impedance for our measurement of our probe, and it's going to post-process that and show you the worst case response right here, just in a simple click. So I hit run. You can see it's set the output voltage at 12 volts. Right now, the waveform is now auto-scaling on the scope, so the scope doesn't know what the worst-case response is. So it's determining that because it's never seen this, and then once it determines that, it's going to set the dynamic range so we can capture the right waveform when we do that and go back through and measure everything all over again. So there, it just finished. Now it's measuring all the waveforms all the way from 5 kilohertz to 1 megahertz, and by the way, we can change this to whatever you want. In this case, we're just doing it at a 1% duty cycle. And so it's almost done. And there it just finished, and you can see now it's showing you the worst 8 waveforms. The one highlighted in red is showing you the worst peak-to-peak voltage, and you can see we're even showing it down there below. Our software is also giving you some other fun things, like you can see the voltage ripple versus frequency. And then we're also showing you all the data that we captured, so you can see here over 25 waveforms that we captured in just under a minute. Simple click, super efficiency savings, time saver, force multiplier to help you get back to doing what you need to do on your bench. So that's one demo today. The other demo I'm going to show you is with the S2000 here with PicoTest, and again with the Rohde & Schwarz MX05. So the S2000 is a 2000 amp transient step load solution. The benefit of these are emulating large high current ASICs for GPU and data centers. When you get a very large current board today and you're waiting on software, you can't validate, do all your power system testing until you have software. What the transient step load solutions for PicoTest do is they allow us to decouple that software schedule, do that large signal emulation, validate our power supply and our power system to ensure it's going to work before you plug in and test that expensive ASIC. In this case, we're taking 48 volts to 12 volts with these LSE converters. These LSE converters are piping 12 volts down to these buck converters, which are surrounding the outside of our step load. And these buck converters are stepping down that 12 to 0.8 volts. There are 512 GaN FETs here, and that gives us a huge range of fidelity to do that 2000 amp step load solution. We have 11-bit control. We can do over 50 megasamples per second. What you can't see is we're measuring on the back side of this platform with another PicoTest probing solution, a P2104, and we have our emulated current coming into channel 1, and we have our voltage that we're measuring from the emulated current response coming into channel 3. And you can see here with a single button push, we're able to get a complete sweep of waveforms, everything from a exponential rise and fall, a linear rise and fall, a sinusoid, another sinusoid at different frequency, half step, step, or PRBS pattern to do all sorts of large signal testing. And again, exercise and test your system very seamlessly, all using the PicoTest and Rohde & Schwarz solutions. So if you'd like to learn more, reach out at signaledgesolutions.com, and thanks again.